Hi, welcome to this video. I'm Anastasia and today I'm here to show you how to mix some natural looking colors for salmon and tuna. And I'm also going to show you how to create those realistic veins and textures to give the fish this shiny appearance, and also tell you a few tricks about how to make these subjects look realistically. So let's dive right in. I'm going to use watercolor paper for this demonstration. My watercolor set, this is from Sennelier, watercolors in tubes that I squeezed in my travel palette. And then I have my palette to show you my colors. So, it's about fish slices, first of all, because this is what we're painting today. By the way, this is one of the spreads I've created after my trip to Japan. So this is sushi, and today I wanted to show you what reference picture I also used. So this is the picture I've used for creating that illustration. And on this picture, you see it's kind of clear that the fish has some thickness. So this is the number one principle of painting apparently flat subjects, but make them look 3D. So if we look at our piece of fish on from a different angle, I'm going to open another picture. You see that it has some thickness, like we can clearly see it here. So it's really important to keep this in mind, even on these kinds of references like here, even though it's not very obvious. So you really need to keep these things in mind. Let me show you another picture. See here again. So we can definitely see that the fish is not flat. It still has this, side, this thickness. So this reference picture here look nicely and realistically, even though this thing is not obvious. So let me show you how a fish slice will look like. So imagine we're looking on a fish slice from a top. It's just going to be something like this, right? Like a piece of something. Then we will have some veins, of course, some textures, but this is going to be how it's looking like from the very top. If you're looking on it a little bit from the side, like we have here, it's going to appear differently. It's going to be something like this. And then we will see some of this side. And then we will have the veins here. So some you see of this side is going to be visible. This is exactly what we have here. This is exactly the position of the fish here. Then of course this is flat. Imagine we give it an even more organic shape. So instead of making it straight, I'm going to make this line a little bit more curved and something like this. But you see, the principle is the same. There you go. So this is looking better already. And then on the lower portion, imagine we have the rice. So the rice will not be visible here. We're looking from the top. So this is top and this is side. Here it's going to be visible. So it will be somewhere here. There's going to be some rice. I'm going to draw the individual rice pieces, but you got it. And then here it's going to be kind of the same. So there's going to be some rice here. It's going to be visible. So this is the trick. So this side here, it's really important to show it, and it's going to be darker. So this is thing number one about painting, drawing fish or something like this, slices of fish. So remember about this thickness here. This is very important. So let's actually paint this. So since I already have this drawing here, I'm going to create another drawing to show you two different colors and two different textures. So this texture here is looking more like tuna. By the way, I'm going to erase those veins and make them better. So if I just invented this, but when I look at my reference picture, I see that the veins follow this direction. So I'm going to erase this a little bit and kind of adjust the shape of that piece to what I actually see on the picture. Again, with food, it's not that important because if your slice of fish has a slightly different shape than on the picture, it's not a big deal. It's not like with animals or human beings that if you place, you know, the eyes in the wrong position, or if you make the nose much bigger, it's going to look funny. With fish, you see, it's much more forgiving. But still, I've created this shape a little bit better, and now I'm going to draw the veins, and then of course somewhere here I have this side of the fish that I don't want to forget about, remember? So somewhere here I will outline the side clearly. And you see those veins kind of continue here. And then we have the rice on the lower side. And then another thing you can do is also work on the right outline. So instead of doing it just straight, I can go there and added some volume to it. So a little bit of volume here, a little bit of volume here, even exaggerate it a little bit, just again to show that this is not just like a flat thing, that these individual kind of sections, they all have some thickness to it. See, if I do this line, kind of imagine this thickness there. So it's just going to, again, make your food look more three-dimensional. After we've done this, so I'm going to use this one for the tuna, and I'm going to create another one for the salmon. So it's going to be a really similar drawing. So I'm just going to create this slice here. And then we have some rice somewhere there. So on the salmon, the interesting thing is that the veins are different. So you see they're not going in this direction. They're kind of going in circles, at least on that particular cut. So I'm going to add those circles here, here. And then as I reach the top point, I see that things kind of shift, and I have this like other circle there. So in order to create realistic food textures, all you need is just to observe your subject and try to create something similar there. And then you see again on the right side, I'm going to go on top and create that bumpy kind of outline again to show that the salmon is not just flat, that again it has some thickness to it. And then I have this side of the fish that we've also shown on our sketch. I'm also going to show this thickness here on the lower portion. There you go. I think our slices look nice. Now let's mix some colors for those. So we're gonna create two different mixes, actually two mixes per piece, per fish. Let's start with the salmon. If you've watched my previous tutorial on how to paint the fish eggs quickly and simply, by the way, this is the illustration we create there. I show you how to create shiny textures on round subjects. You can go there and watch it because we're going to use the exact same colors as on those. We're going to use the same colors for the salmon. So those colors are anything yellow. So I'm using primary yellow by Sennelier. You can use cadmium yellow instead. And then I will create, there's a mix. So it's really just basic yellow color. And then we will need something red. I'm going to use cadmium red. So another mix is going to be just a mix of that same yellow and some of this red. So to obtain an orange color. And we're going to need a third color that's going to be the same exact combination of colors. So yellow plus red, but a little bit more of red than yellow. Here's a trick for you, how to make your colors look darker or lighter. So in order to make your color darker, use less water and more pigment. So dry your brush before grabbing the pigment. And if you want the mix to be lighter, add some water to that mix. So you see if I'm adding the water and I have some of the color on my brush, you see I was able to create the same mix as this one, but just lighter. So I don't need this one. It was just to show you the demo. So these are the three colors we need. Here are the swatches. So yellow, light orange, and darker orange. Those are the three colors we need for the salmon. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start with the lightest color, so with yellow. And very important thing, I want to keep the veins light. So this is important in order to create this shiny texture and again, create this texture, give it a realistic appearance. I need some white there. So I'm going to start to apply this color following those lines I've created with pencil. And you see, I'm just leaving some of these white veins completely untouched. And I'm just going and seeing, following these curved lines we've created. So I'm going to do this on the left side. You see everywhere but on the veins, also here. And then once I've reached approximately like the half of the salmon, I'm going to switch to this second color, so to this orange here that got dry. So I'm going to remix it real quick. There you go. And I'm going to keep applying this color to the right portion of this salmon. And you see, just by doing these two simple things, we already started to give this salmon piece some realistic appearance. See, just by, again, preserving the white veins. So see, it's really simple. A lot of people think that food illustrations are very hard, that all of these textures are so confusing and so difficult to paint. But if you know the framework, you see how easy it's getting. So it's nothing that complicated. So there you go. I've applied this to the right side. And then I'm going to let this dry, and we are going to use some of this darker color after. But for now, let's switch to the tuna. So this is the base for the salmon. This is the exact same thing I did here. And for the tuna, we will need something more. I'm going to make this clear that these are the colors for the salmon. And then I'm going to create some other colors for the tuna. So tuna is a little bit more pinkish. So instead of using something orangey, I'm going to lean towards the pink side, and you can use carmine for this. So it's going to be a better option than cadmium. Carmine is it's also a red color, but it's kind of more on the pink side. So it's colder looking. This is carmine. So this is color number 1 I'm going to use. I'm going to dilute it with just a little bit of water for it to be lighter. Again, remember, to make the color lighter, just add some water. This is the color I'm using for the tuna. This is color number 1. And then I'm going to create the color number 2, which is going to be the exact same color. So same carmine, but with a touch of burnt sienna. So it's going to be a darker color and even a touch of blue. So I'm going to add a little touch of blue. You can use cobalt, you can use ultramarine. So just a little touch of blue to add some darkness to the color. But the trick is there should be just a little touch of blue, because otherwise your color will start to look dirty. Because right now you see I'm getting kind of this brown color. So I'm going to add more red in order for it to look more fresh. So with food, we want to aim for colors that look fresh, because otherwise our fish is going to look old. So you see I've obtained a more pure color. So also one more trick, in order for your colors to look fresh, especially for food illustrations, don't mix more than 3 colors in one mix. It's actually better if you keep your mixes to 2 colors, 1, 2 colors, maximum 3 colors, but don't go more than 3 colors, because otherwise your mixes can become dirty. That said, I will take the lightest color, the lightest mix we've just created, so this light pink mix, and I'm going to apply this mix to this whole left side of our fish again, and avoiding the veins. Just avoiding the veins, just like we did with the salmon. The trick here is that you see with the salmon, I left that side of the salmon completely untouched because I see it's white on our reference. So I left it white, but the side of the tuna is actually darker. So I can cover it completely. And then later we're going to add even more color to it. So I'm covering that part. And then once I've reached the middle of my tuna, I can then switch to water. This is one cool trick I'm showing you right now. So I'm switching to water, and you see I'm kind of making this transition really light. So just adding water, just water, just water, just water. And then I'm switching to the darker color. So I'm switching to this dark pink color, this one, and I'm covering the right side with the darker color. And you see what will happen? Some of this darker pink will start to interfere with this water here. And if it's not, you can blend them manually. So what you do, I just go wash my brush again in water, dry it with my paper towel, with my napkin, and I just go there and kind of blend these two colors together just like this. So easy. You see, I'm just blending those with the tip of my brush. Then if I need more water, I just go again and grab more water, dry it again, and then go and blend them again. You can see the only thing I'm preserving are the veins. So the veins are still preserved. This is what allows my fish to get this nice texture. And that's basically it. And then I'm going to use that same dark pink color to paint the side of the fish. So for the side of the fish, I'm going to remix that color real quick. I'm just going and applying that color there. And you see instantly we have this shadow there. So instantly we see that this piece of fish has some thickness to it. And if we want to add even more realism to this slice, I'm going to use the same exact color I already have on my brush. And I'm going to accentuate some of these veins with that color. So only on the, on the top or on the bottom from the white line, not on the top and on the bottom. So I'm picking one side and I'm just adding, see some of these veins there. And I'm also going to continue them here to kind of show that they kind of go on the other side as well. So this is a quick way of how you can create a realistic fish texture. And then I have even more tip for you, but you need to make sure that the texture is completely dry in order to do this. So we're going to wait a little bit and I'm going to show you later. But for now, let's give just a little bit of texture of color to the side of the salmon. So for the side of the salmon, I'm going to use a kind of a pink color, like something dirty pink. So I'm going to use some of this color we used for the tuna. You see, I already have it on my brush, and I'm going to use a little touch of Payne's gray. Payne's gray is a gray color, and you see I have lots of water in my mix. So this is why I got, you see, this kind of watery gray mix. And I'm going to apply this color to the side of the salmon. And I'm just leaving this thin white line on top in order, again, to accentuate some of the thickness. This is it, basically. Then if you want to add some details to the rice, you can also do so by using even the same kind of gray color and even more Payne's gray in some top areas, just to give that shadow from the fish. So to kind of show that the fish is on top of your rice. And if we wanted to add even more details, we could add even some of these individual kind of rice pieces. So what I'm doing now is just working with the very tip of my brush and kind of adding this rice texture, you see, with the tip of my brush. So the trick here, if you want to be able to produce these very thin lines, see, is to don't have a lot of color on your brush, not a lot of water, sorry. So your brush should be almost dry, and just the tip of the brush is loaded with this color. And one more trick is that your tip of the brush should be really, really thin. So these brushes I'm using are from my brush set created in collaboration with Craftamo. It's currently sold out, but I will leave the link below this video to sign up for the wait list if you're interested in getting this set in the future. So this is how I can add this little rice texture, and then if I want to, I can go there back with the dark color again and add even more shadows to the top piece of this rice. So again, remember where the shadows are. So if the light comes from here, or if something is on top of something, it's obvious that it will cast the shadow on the lower subject. So that's why that part is in the shadow. And so our sushi are actually ready. So I think they look really good. The last thing we can do in order to make this look even more realistic is to keep the highlights in the middle. So if you see on our reference, our highlights are concentrated here and here. So in order to make it look more realistic, all I need to do is just to wash my brush in clean water, dry it with my paper towel. See, I'm calming down those highlights on the right and on the left side, and I'm keeping them in the middle. So this is what will make this whole piece look more realistic, because right now you see it was kind of, the highlights were everywhere. And now you see, by just doing this simple thing, we're activating the colors and making them mix with each other nicely. And we're preserving just those central highlights that are the strongest ones. And I feel like this last step really makes the difference, because it allows us to make it look like all of this belongs together instead of making it look like separate lines. So I think now this looks good. If we want to add a final detail to the salmon, we can use this even darker red color. But for now, let me show you how to create a simple shadow from this sushi in order for it to stand out even more. Just like we did on the sea egg, you see, when you add a darker tone near something bright, it instantly pops. So you can do the same thing here. So I'm just going to use some Payne's Gray, again, a really basic color. And I'm going to add this color to this side of the tuna first. I can even use more color, so less water and more color. And you see I obtained this even darker version of the same color. And you see I've got this shadow. This is optional, but I feel it really adds some realism and allows your sketches to pop. And then eventually, if you want, you can also use this same color to add a little bit of outlines, not in some areas, but for example, here and here, I've added this little outline, and I think it instantly made my subject look even more good. All right, and I can do the same thing with the salmon. So I'm going there, just keeping that, making sure I'm controlling the outline with the tip of my brush, so not touching the salmon, just going around and creating this shadow there as well. And then if you want to make this shadow like blend better with the paper, just go wash your brush, dry it with your paper towel, and kind of smooth that edge a little bit. Okay, see, it looks better now. So this is it. This is exactly how you create the realistic fish textures. The sketch we've created today, so the demonstration I've created today was from my Travel Sketching Academy course. So we create this exact spread inside Travel Sketching Academy alongside multiple other spreads on landscapes, architecture, people, portraits, human figures, nature, and so much more. So if you want to check out my full program, I'm going to leave the link below this video. Hope you enjoyed and happy sketching!